Hello and welcome back to another episode of Boys Gone Wild. I had beans for lunch.
Oh, for God's sake. Here we go.
I had normal beans yesterday, but I actually made my own beans today.
You didn't make your own beans.
I didn't make.
Let's just get that straight.
What does make your own beans?
Grow your own beans. You didn't make your own beans.
Make your own beans is a fine shortening of make your own baked beans.
It's confusing for everyone listening. No one has a clue what you're talking about.
I think they do. When I said I ate baked beans, I made.
You didn't say baked beans. You said beans. You made your own beans on toast.
Beans on toast. So what I did, I saw this recipe on TikTok, and this will, it will inspire. I know that a lot of the lefty woke brigade don't want.
Can I make a quick preface before you do this?
Go on.
Do you remember there was a time on the podcast that I said whenever Horatio finally cooks a new meal, he doesn't shut up about how amazing it is?
Yeah.
Continue.
Good.
Beans on toast. Let's just remember this is beans on toast.
But it's like you've never seen them before. So I saw this on TikTok, and I guess you can sort of, in the way that sometimes I look at Ronaldo playing football, and I will never be able to do what he does. I can take.
You can emulate.
I can take inspiration from the way he approaches football to the way I approach just different parts of my life.
Beans.
Well, I'm just saying that you might not cook up these beans, but think about beans in a different way than you've thought about them might, move some other stuff in your life. So putting in bacon lardons, I don't know why they're called. I don't like them called lardons. Pancetta makes more sense. Lardon.
But that's a different thing.
What's a lardon?
Well, it's different to pancetta.
So is there any other word for a lardon, or is that the only real word?
Well, we can make one up.
A bacon or chunklet was the first one I thought.
I was weirdly thinking but I like chunklet.
A bacon chunklet.
Chunklet.
I don't like bacon chunklet. It's better than lardons. Lardons is just a bit.
What is lard?
Lard is
just fat.
Yeah, and they are very fatty, so maybe that's why. And they're like ons kind of makes it sound like mini versions
of fat. Small cubes of fat.
Yeah, but I don't like bacon lardons, especially in this accent.
But you like
lardons. If you're like from Manchester, bacon lardons, that's all right. But lardons, the fact that I have to get over that if you have a posh voice,
Larden.
It's not nice. Lardons.
Hey
kids, he's got fucking bacon lardons. That's better than.
It's better.
May I have some bacon lardons, please? It's just. Ugh.
I think that opinion might be rooted in classism somehow.
What? No, because it's a reverse class.
Because they're all fat in the north, is what you're saying.
It's not. I'm not saying they're all fat in the north.
Well, that's what you were saying just before we came on.
I didn't say they were all fat. I said
a couple.
Great. Yeah. No, I said a couple of them.
Yeah, just two.
Very weird. Very weird point to make if I was a couple of them. You put them in there and you fry them up. You get them all crispy. Onions, garlic. You put them in. Why you put onions and garlic? I guess you could put onions and garlic. Is what people are thinking now. Then you put paprika, Worcestershire sauce.
Fuck's sake.
And then tomato puree, thick paste, and that's not the key
and beans.
Well, the beans and tomato sauce hasn't even come in yet, and I've already put bacon, onion, garlic, Worcestershire sauce, paprika. Those are 4 things you don't have in Heinz beans already.
Sure, because it's a different fucking recipe.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I don't think you've thought about beans in this way. And then you put normally like a white bean, a cannellini bean is what I use, but you can use a smaller bean would actually be more preferable. Whack those in, tomato passata, which is like
you've cooked this once.
With the sauce, put a knob of butter in. I actually put sugar in, so it tastes more like Heinz baked beans. And then fry your bread, cover that in butter, and put it on.
You burn your bread.
I did burn my bread, but
let's be honest. I came in, I said, and I didn't actually say a word actually, and you went, "Oh, I've just made my own beans." And I went, "Oh, how are they?" And he went, "Unbelievable." And I just laughed, and then looked at his plate, and I just saw 2 bits of burnt bread on the plate.
They were slightly burnt, but it was good.
They were black. It was black bread.
It's fried on each side, so it was just slightly singed. So I would prefer them not to been like that, but it wasn't game over.
Do you think you focused too much on the paprika?
I was focusing on too much on the paprika to hit the basics. Then, so it was wonderful, but I think there's something about cooking. I've always liked like a bean, those kind of the gruely looking things. It takes me back to. It makes me think of cowboys.
Yeah. Well, when they hold they in cowboy films when they eat beans, they always have their pinky over the end of the spoon and they eat like that.
Yeah, because they're hungry.
They're more hungry.
They're more hungry.
They need more stability in their spoon.
Yeah,
for the beans.
And there's something about
And there's like steam coming off it, and they've just got in from the.
And it's just
the cold.
There's something just like you need protein, you need it cheap, you need it out in the middle of somewhere
because you've got to go herd some sheep in a bit.
I remember that I didn't like baked beans, which I think is a very acceptable thing because
people have phobias of them.
Yeah, it's understandable. Common. It's understandable.
Completely get it.
I didn't like baked beans until I was on, I think, Bronze DOV sort of thing.
Sure.
In the Lake District when I was 12. Okay.
Bronze, Steve. Not with
it wasn't Bronze
DOV,
but the equivalent of. This was at my.
Not with me.
This was at the school before.
Yeah, okay.
And all we had to eat was baked beans, and I was so hungry that I ate it, and it was the nicest thing I ever tasted because I was hungry.
Because you were hungry, yeah.
And I think I share that with cowboys of the West who, might not know. They're thinking they might even starve to death in the desert. They wander across a small tavern and an inn.
Yeah.
And then they serve a hot plate of gruel.
Right.
Beans, whatever. And I actually recently had pit beans at a smokehouse. I don't think pit beans even have tomato in them. It's like shredded smoked pork.
Sure.
Yeah. And then the stripping down meaty smoky juices mixed in with white kidney beans to make one of the most amazing. That's what's the real cowboy shit.
So the one thing you have in similarity to cowboys is you like beans when you're hungry. Is that it? Yeah. I think that's very honest and accurate from you. I'm not sure you share many other traits with cowboys. I think most people will enjoy beans when they're hungry.
Not like me and cowboys.
Not like you. Oh, here comes the hat.
Not like me and cowboys.
This is the problem. Like, I'm all for you, like, expanding
beans.
your culinary skills, doing some new recipes, but my God, do I have to hear about it. And now you're dragging everyone else with you.
Yeah. Well, I think it's in a way it's just reminding people that soulful kind of rustic cooking. It doesn't all have to be fancy pants.
Yeah,
it doesn't all. You can go straight back to beans.
Well, I'd argue you're making beans fancy pants. That's what you're doing.
That's a good argument, but I access denied. I refuse your
Apologies,
request.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's gone through. It would have to go through.
I guess that's the end of that bit.
A good way to end arguments. It's
like, because if you're going to be
acting like you're like a post office, it's like no.
You would just grow up and microwave a tin of beans.
No, well, I have done. I'm doing that my whole life. So
I'm a big beans on the hob guy.
Yeah, I definitely
big beans on the hob.
Big beans.
A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. Yeah.
Well, and actually add paprika. That's something that I didn't know that you could even do. And to be honest, when I was making,
you can do anything you want.
Yeah, that's what I realised. I think that's more.
You're gonna use
the moral of the story wasn't make your own beans. It was more. I thought if you made your own beans, Heinz would come down, and they'd get. I thought it was illegal to make your own beans. It feels like something that because it's so canned and ready available, it feels like there's some law about.
There feels like there's bean spies.
There's bean spies, and they don't want the people to know that they can make their own beans.
It's the biggest kept secret. Big beans. Big beans is watching every single move we do. I've heard a controversial opinion about beans recently.
How controversial?
It's been a very bean-heavy start to this podcast.
Big beans. It's better than talking. I'm trying to avoid talking about arseholes and penises. So
beans is good. Yeah, I heard a very controversial opinion about beans. One that I'm going to hear out, though, and test out, is that Branston's beans are actually better than Heinz beans.
Oof, that's a big shout.
Big shout. And it was from a trusted source, a foodie, Izzy.
Izzy? Okay, she knows her food.
She knows her food very well. Yeah. And I think it's a more smoky, rich flavour.
That is fascinating.
Now, I think we should try that. How about I try some of your beans, you try, and we both try some Branston, and then we'll just do a kind of litmus test on Heinz and then see which is the best beans.
Well, we could do a blind test of Gould's beans, Heinz beans, and Branston beans.
I think that would actually be quite easy. I don't think that's really the point. What are you doing?
I'm looking up. I was trying to look up Branston beans just to get a visual on it, and I typed in Branston Gould.
I think they're like. I think the can of Branston beans could also be like a can of custard.
Oh, that really... Yeah, I can understand why I didn't go for it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have touched that.
Oh, yeah,
You wouldn't touch that with a rusty barge pole.
Well...
the fact that the barge pole is rusty...
Then I think that goes into what you've been saying about the inherent quality of beans, and it's coming in after a cold night, and it's sludge.
Or a hot desert.
It's sludge, and it's gruel. And what Branston's are doing is they're saying, let's not pretend we're something we're not. We're not posh beaners. We're real beaners.
What for people? The people's beaners.
The people's beaners.
But I'm just saying, there was something that happened to me when I was making beans that I just felt
today.
Yeah, well, I saw it.
Weirdly,
I saw the menu on TikTok.
You had the door shut.
What?
You had the door shut when you were making beans. I felt like I walked into some sort of private. No,
that was my fault.
That was your fault. Yeah. That was you. No, because
I did.
When I came in, it was you. The door was shut, which is instantly weird when someone shut the kitchen door. Like,
well, I thought it was going to distract you from working because I was listening
that's fair.
To the Joe Rogan podcast.
That's fair, but that doesn't work as well as a bit.
He's a bit dumb, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit of a porky dumb. He's a bit of a lardon.
Yeah, he is. He is a lardon.
He's a bit of a lardon.
But I have a soft spot for him. I do like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
But he is a bit of a fucking dummy.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on with what you're saying. Apologies.
No, I think it was just when you see the door was closed, I had this faint smell of paprika. I was like, fucking hell, he's got a new recipe, hasn't he? And I'm going to have to talk about it with him. Just the word. And then I came in and you were like, it was very sensual. It was a nice, beans. A healthy mess in the kitchen. It was like, I'm making beans on toast. Fucking hell, how are they? And then just the seriousness and the pause. Unbelievable.
I was
like, fuck you.
Unbelievable.
I'm sure, yeah. I guess in comparison to tinned beans, I'm sure they were good. I would struggle. The problem with your cooking is that everything that you've cooked for the first time is the best thing you've ever eaten. Sure. Therefore, the words you used to describe them means that I can't ever know how it actually was. Yeah. Because you've done, 4 new recipes in the last year.
Sure.
All of them have been the best thing since sliced bread.
Since fried sea bass.
Since fried sea bass. Or since the last thing you fucking did. But yeah, that's...
but yeah, I it's more the feeling that I connect with. You know I get this and you don't seem to, which is why, I feel I could be a Scientologist, is that I do feel a strong connection with the emotions of my many past lives.
Yeah.
Much like the Avatar state. So I felt as...
I've been told I'm new before. I'm not an old soul, is what I've been told before.
Really?
Yeah.
By who?
Probably a girl.
Not the
first. I'm not. I don't think they were saying I'm like brand new, because I think that's the same. That's basically saying you're an idiot.
So if you live many, if you believe that
there's old souls and there's young souls,
soul,
yeah,
that means that new souls are being just thrown in the mix, and it's the first time. Yeah. And there's some people have been since the Stone Age.
Yeah, well, it has to be, because the population will be steadily increasing, so you've got to chuck some new souls in there.
Yeah,
you can't have all the same players. It's like a new respawn. No, not like a new player enters the lobby.
Yeah.
Do you understand what's happening?
I do understand. I do understand what's happening. I felt when I put my spoon into the beans, fork into the beans.
Yeah, spoon or fork.
Then my eyes rolled to the back of the head, and then there was me as a cowboy. There was me as a medieval soldier. There was me as putting between breaks from putting the stones on the pyramids. And it was just all happened at once, and there was like.
Every time Horatio has a new recipe, this is the shit I have to fucking listen to. It's absolute pretentious drivel. It's pretentious nonsense.
And then we all met for a brief moment, stared at each other, each with a spoonful of beans.
and exchanged stories around the campfire.
Yeah. And they just said, it's not your fault.
Bet one of you had a guitar.
It's not your fault.
For all the horrible things you've done in every single one of your lives. You've done something unforgivable in every single one of your lives.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. That's the Avatar state for me. Eating beans.
What's happening with donkeys at the moment?
Come on.
There is an astonishing amount of donkey charities popping up. I've seen there's one that's like 2 minutes and it pops up on Sky Go and it just repeats the phrase, terrible things are happening to donkeys. And
that's a great sentence.
It's like, I'm just trying to watch the thick of it at the moment. I don't, and it honestly repeats it so many times. And then that was a funny advert to me, even though it's not funny, because terrible things are actually happening to donkeys.
How bad?
Really bad. really bad. They're
you'd hope so. Well, not
you bloody hope so, bloody donkeys.
Have adverts about it.
Yeah.
You'd hope it's not like they're hurling emotional abuse.
They're not being combed properly. The leashes could be slightly longer.
But and the voiceovers like that.
Yeah. They could do with a little bit more food. But,
no, that's horses.
No, that's the wrong idea. We can't ride them any. Oh no, that's a good thing. No, so that's been doing the rounds on the box, on the telly box. Now it's permeating like YouTube and stuff. I don't know whether I'm just like, maybe it's my targeted ads.
Yeah.
They think, oh, this guy's a sucker for a donkey.
Yeah.
But they are everywhere, and it's like one of those things. As I say, I'm not denying that terrible things are happening to donkeys.
You're a donkey
I'm not a donkey denier.
You're a donkey truther.
I'm a donkey truther. I concede, and I don't even concede it. I believe that terrible things are happening to donkeys.
There's a lot of terrible things happening to a lot of things at the minute.
That's kind of the problem. With these charities, is one, like, I get, like, with the RSPCA, when they do their adverts, they're like, great, they're tackling animal cruelty.
That's a big net.
A big thing. A big net. Like, oh, you give money to them, great. It's like, could they not do donkeys as well? Like, do we have to have because I guess such terrible things are happening to donkeys that we need a specific charity to try and solve the donkey problems.
Is it the same charity you're getting the ads from? It's not multiple charities.
It's multiple charities.
It's not multiple.
There's multiple donkey charities.
That is absurd. You can't be having multiple. Spread the load, guys.
It's really making me.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that one.
Royal pardon for the pun.
But decreed. So. What now? Look, terrible things are happening to donkeys. Okay, but surely there's some worse things. It's one of those things with a charity where, look, all charity's good, isn't it? Well, unless it's a charity for, I don't know, terrorist financing, that wouldn't be good. But which there are actually.
Call this number. What?
That's a key way that fake charities is a good way that terrorists move money around. It's a bit of that's my one financial crime fact for the day.
Charities aren't all good. Yeah, I guess they must vaguely be.
But look,
trying to do something good.
We're all not millionaires. We all can't afford to like chip into multiple charities.
No.
Do you think any of the
you got to
pick smartly? Yeah. Do you think there's any person who gives to just one charity and that charity is a donkey charity? Because that person, I'd say, just have a read of the newspaper.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff going on that might...
He's got beans in his brain.
He's got beans, yeah. Well,
his brain is beans.
His brain is beans. Or he went back to a past life after eating beans and he was a donkey owner or something like that shit.
Also eating beans.
We get the fucking beans. So...
Bean brain.
That is... I just think... Now, look, can we not... Is it not a good idea with charities to like solve one? Like, why don't we pour everything into one
tampon
crisis? Tax. You want a charity for tampon tax? A charity to increase tampon tax?
Increasing it.
Yeah.
They're too cheap.
Should we not solve maybe some people start like starving?
No, tampons are too cheap.
You're really blocking it.
No, I'm not blocking it. I'm just saying, you have the advert coming out and it shows a woman going buying tampons and being like, oh, those are cheaper than I thought.
And then you come in.
And then she uses that extra money
to buy crack.
Donkeys. Raise the taxes.
So what you're saying is the donkey problem is coming from the disposable income that people gain from the low price of tampons. Yeah, I didn't realise those two things were so connected.
Sorry. No, I was blocking. Go on.
I don't know. Just solve water or something. Solve the thirst crisis.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, water aid, cool. But
no, it doesn't work because we do like terrible things are happening to donkeys, and we need some money.
How bad?
Towards
How bad is this?
They're just like people are fucking with them, man. People are just fucking with donkeys. They're not fucking them. They're just fucking with them. No, they might.
Well, they wouldn't put that in the ad, would they?
No, they wouldn't. Yeah. Well, if that was a crisis.
Oh, sorry.
What?
Sorry, I just laughed because it's just a bit silly, but it's not silly. People raping donkeys would not be a laughing matter.
Maybe you should make the ads.
Well, start with me going,
yeah.
People fucking donkeys. But it's not really funny, is it?
But it's not funny, is it? It's not funny. I don't know. I just don't know what's happening to donkeys at the moment. If anyone knows what's happening to donkeys, please comment.
Yeah, I do think if it was like RSPCA donkey edition, Like it's just
the donkey branch.
Yeah,
the Department of Donkey.
Or like the ad was RSPCA, and it was just like, right, today this is Donkey Month. If it was like Donkey Month.
Let's solve the donkey bit. We're going to do this now. Actually, it's probably not RSPCA because I don't think it was mostly. I don't think there's loads of donkey abuse in the UK. I think it's more overseas donkey abuse.
Well, it's the thing. This
is why I don't travel.
Yeah, what, in protest?
No, in fear. That will end up like one of them.
What, a donkey?
A donkey, yeah.
Where the donkey abuse happening? What was the images being shown?
Donkey abuse.
No, but
sad donkeys.
What's
you get
what aesthetic? What aesthetic? What vibe?
Grey.
Okay, so what's like Eastern Europe-y?
I couldn't actually tell you.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You're not good at that sort of stuff either.
What? Countries?
Well, just like, yeah. Just
remembering things. Fucking bean boy. No, it's just food for thought. I'm just confused. If someone knows like what's going on with donkeys at the moment, I do want to solve the donkey crisis. I really do.
But I wouldn't mind. Yeah, I'd solve it too.
You wouldn't mind it. You can take it or leave it though. If there was a button there that would solve the donkey crisis,
no,
I might push it.
I'd press the button, but if I had to walk 2 hours to get to the button, I'd be like, how?
Maybe not.
Wow.
Well, you've got to think about it's 2 hours back as well.
Yeah, that's a round trip. That's a round trip.
4 hour round trip.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
I'd be riding my donkey back.
The proliferation of donkey videos is something. What is it a product of? Is it a product of an increased abuse recently of donkeys,
or of
the donkey, big donkey,
or the stretching of our moral bandwidth
to donkeys? Maybe donkeys were previously,
the church in the Middle Ages. It was like, don't be bad or you go to hell.
But you can do what you want with donkeys.
It was just like, it was vague, and now it's like we've got so far.
Yeah,
it's just like. Yeah. Donkeys, it's like it's really pushing it.
Yeah, I think like donkeys, I think maybe the stupid man would think that a donkey is a man who has bean brains would most likely think that a donkey is just a lame horse, you know?
Yeah.
You can't, that isn't...
They're actually on different family sides of the evolutionary family tree.
As the non-bean brain man would say in response. But... I think maybe there wasn't too much of a negative connotation surrounding donkeys, their role in nature and in our human society, and now we're thinking actually we should give the donkeys a chance.
I've ridden a donkey before.
Well, you can't do that.
No, riding donkeys are right, isn't it?
No.
Is that one of the bad things?
And they didn't mention riding donkeys, but I can't imagine the donkey charities would be happy with you riding a donkey.
Yeah, there were some pretty shifty guys. It was in Jordan.
Shifty donkeys or shifty guys?
Shifty guys.
In Jordan?
Yeah.
There was some donkey abuse going on.
There probably was.
100% donkey abuse going on.
But the donkeys, they carry shit. That's their...
Yeah, pack mules, aren't they?
Yeah, they're built for... I mean, I did look ridiculous because I was so tall and lanky, my feet nearly touched the ground.
Like, it's almost like you're riding on like a kid's...
Yeah, no, genuinely. It was like I was on like a little mini bike.
And that can't be good for the donkey.
He seemed all right. He seemed,
Yeah, because they have to smile for the customers.
Or else they know what they're getting.
They know what they're getting when they get back. Donkey abuse.
They're getting a shitload
of donkey abuse. Well, God bless the donkeys. I hope the situation's solved.
But also, it's the modern. One of the big modern problems is that we just don't have the bandwidth to care about all these things at once. Like the biggest example is the crisis in Yemen.
Yeah.
That I don't know what it even looks like. Because I can't even bring myself to even...
Look at the images.
I think I've heard it's really quite bad. But
You're too busy making beans. That's the kind of... that's you're immediately in front of you, there are challenges. And it's what to call a fucking lardon.
No, I'm saving the meek. I'm saving the global meek.
By feeding them?
No, well, I don't know.
By feeding them beans?
No, I just mean I've got bigger fish to fry.
You've got bigger beans to fry. Come on, it was right there, you dickhead.
Bigger beans to, let simmer for 20 minutes.
Did you boil? How did you cook beans? You fry them?
Just put them in the one big pan.
Yeah, fry them then. Yeah.
No, it's not, certainly not a sophisticated dish. Yes. Wow, that was 25 minutes on donkeys and beans. I think it's time for bookmark, boys.
Yeah, it's time for bookmark. Live podcast.
Oh shit, we should have done that at the beginning.
Should we clip it? Should we clip it and put it at the start?
Yeah.
Because we should. It's the last podcast before.
This is the last podcast before the live podcast.
Woo!
So get your tickets on the link below.
Bring your nans.
They're running out, so get them now.
There's only 3 left. Quick.
I don't know. I don't actually know what the numbers are, but they're certainly going quick. And
there will be none left.
There will be none left. It's going to be the first time we're going to do it. So even...
And maybe the only time. It could go absolutely terribly.
It could go horrendously
It could
wrong.
go so badly.
But it will be the first... It will still be, considering the potential of this podcast is endless. Considering the potential of this podcast is endless, it could be the first time. It's going to be the first time that listeners' podcasts are in the same room together. So that's a moment.
Think
of
about
history.
it as networking with fellow freaks as well.
Yeah. Think about it as the Conference of Yalta, like in World War II when Stalin, Churchill, and Roosevelt first met to discuss what the world was going to look like after World War II. Imagine it like that. Okay, it's a meeting of minds to discuss what the new world order is going to be.
It's fancy dress. You can either be Stalin, Teddy Roosevelt, or the other person.
Churchill.
Or Churchill, yeah. you could come as one of those. That would be great, yeah.
Because Roosevelt,
tough journey for this.
FDR was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill's got the cigar, and then Stalin. It's just funny. He's just wearing a Soviet. That's a funny.
It's a tough journey there for the people. If
you're just 3 bros going. That's
it's great, yeah.
That's a good Halloween costume. The Conference of Yalta would be a fucking amazing squad. Anyway, but more importantly, Bookmark Boys. Now, I'm looking at Ron Swanson and all this talk of Stalin that we did earlier.
Let's have a look.
Reminds me, he looks a lot like Stalin, doesn't he? He looks like Stalin. I'd like to see Ron Swanson in a comedy
Come to think
biopic
of it, everyone on Bookmark Boys looks like Stalin.
Well, Phoebe Waller-Bridge doesn't look like Stalin.
I don't know, she's a bit Stalin-y.
I guess so. I guess she's got a Slavic angular features.
Bookmark Boys might be a sleeper agent.
For Stalin.
For communism.
Global communism. Or Stalinism, the more specific, brutal branch of it.
Yeah.
Bookmark Boys.
Bookmark Boys. There's quotes and there's men.
There's quotes and there's men.
And there's women.
It's made a good card that,
You don't even need to use them for a bookmark. You can hang them on your wall.
You could slide them under a girl you fancy on a train's door after you followed her home.
Annoyingly, I was going to say you can post them in strangers' letterboxes, but that's too similar, actually.
I reckon this is sort of like a good way of weaning creeps off other stuff. As opposed to shitting through her letterbox, how about slide a bookmark under her door?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still not great that you're following her home late at night.
But at least don't shit in.
Yeah, at least she doesn't have shit in a letterbox. Yeah. She has...
Stop sticking your dick.
It's quite uncomfortable that she's
Stop
got Peter
sticking
K.
a dick through Peter K, Sweet Baby Jesus and the Orphans.
Yeah, that would be kind
And then just pop your phone number.
I mean, that's...
and then it's done.
That is quite creepy, but it's still better than a shit through
if you could put Tommy Selby through your interest store and say, which says, everyone's a whore, Grace, we just sell different parts of ourselves. And then
that's more threatening
and
than
then,
creepy.
Yeah, then your number.
So implying that she's going to sell.
Yeah.
Great. Bookmark Boys.
Bookmark Boys.
The only
mark that has the boys.
The boy who lived.
Mark your book with boys.
How was your weekend?
It was lovely. I have a monthly snooker session with one of my friends where we play snooker and talk about our feelings.
So it's happened twice?
It's the second of the monthly ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's happened twice. I could say we're planning to do it monthly.
Good.
And it's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It isn't. Yeah, I said this to someone before.
I have a lot of these plans. We do this every week.
Do what every week? What's one of those plans that you've had? Here we go.
When I was in year 8.
Well, that's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
I'm not sure year 8 qualifies as a lot of times.
Me and George Taylor.
George Taylor.
Yeah. He when I was in year 8, so this is the school before I went to our school. We had this little joke where we sung She-Wolf to each other.
There's a she-wolf. No, you never know any lyrics to songs. You never know lyrics. There's a she-wolf in the closet. Let her out so it can breathe.
Awoo! And then we'd alternate different things and then do the awoo together.
So you just got together in the playground?
No, I think we were
outside or inside of school.
I think it started in the morning, and then every time we met each other we'd do it, and it was a lot of fun. And we were like, let's do a different song every day.
But did you have to plan before, or did you then?
Well, we just assumed, because it was so much fun with that song, let's just have a song that we sing every day. And I got incredibly excited about it. And then we planned the song for tomorrow, that day. I forgot what that song was. And we went into it and it
didn't feel the same.
We managed half a day, and then by the third
you didn't
day,
get the same thrill as you did with
Yeah,
She-Wolf.
and then by the third day,
was it reciprocated, or were you realising it and George wasn't?
I think we both. It was. I think that's very clear,
an amicable, clean break.
Yeah, it was. But I guess from the idea of a song a day to doing basically for a day and a half.
Yeah, and that's exactly the same as meeting up with a friend once a month to play snooker. You're so right. How foolish
I'm just
of me.
saying, you know, it's often a fool's errand.
Well, Andy bought his own cue.
Okay, that
implies intent.
Yeah, but he likes.
He does butt stuff with it, yes. For the non-watching listeners, Horatio just gesticulated towards his bum with a snooker cue, I presume it was, implying that our friend Andy.
It's a new one.
Puts snooker cues up his ass. It's ribbed for his pleasure.
It's hard to play snooker.
Really hard, but great for butt stuff. So, on our monthly, and that will continue on a monthly basis, snooker outing. He bought a membership as well. So
this is the Upton Park place.
Upton Park place.
So have you basically turned your back on Mile End?
Mile End is done for me. I had to wait an hour and a half for a snooker table there and didn't get it. And I've never been more. I was so angry. I've been very angry twice in the last 4 months, and that was one of them.
And snooker wasn't that a period where snooker was sort of holding your mental health together?
Yes. Next question.
Yeah, no, that was snooker was like.
That's all I had. So then, when all you have is snooker, and you finish work, and then you go and play snooker, and you wait an hour and a half to get a table, and then you don't get a table, it's really not great. The walk back is not fun. It's fucking livid. But my Upton Park has loads of snooker tables, so that's not a problem. There was just a minor thing, but I found it very ballsy of the lady who worked there. It was an odd interaction.
What's the clientele like?
We've discussed it. Yeah. No, we discussed it briefly. You've got your.
Oh, this is the farting
fat man.
This is a Patreon exclusive, so most of these cunts don't.
Most of these idiots. I'm going to
subscribe to the Patreon.
Subscribe to the ROM and get the full scoop. You get your bald men. You get your slightly podjo.
You get your flatulent farty.
Your flatulent farty men. A really, really strong Asian showing there as well. I guess it's the area as well. But
what type of Asian?
Young Asians.
No, which part of Asia?
I don't know.
No, east or south?
South.
I was thinking east. You know that?
Yeah, but you don't have a clue about anything.
I do have a clue about a lot of things. I'm incredibly knowledgeable.
How much do you know about the clientele of the Upton Park Snooker Club?
No, but when you say this is my problem, and I've said it before, I don't like the term Asian, not out of any sort of racial thing. It's just incredibly unhelpful. We use Asian for Southern Asians and Eastern Asians indistinguishably. They're so different.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I'm all up for grouping general peoples together. That's one of my big hobbies. Just, vaguely.
You know I'm not good enough at geography for this.
But I'm just saying, when you see Japanese, Chinese, Korean, even Filipino, that's all Asian. Oh, they're Asian.
Yeah.
And then Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi. Oh, what, Iranians? Are they Asian as well? This needs to stop, all right?
Fucking hell.
The madness needs to stop.
So there was an Asian clientele.
Southern Asian.
And that was the clientele in answer to your question. That felt like a bit like a fucking trap, really. So there was a woman who we had a very odd interaction with, and she was very bold with what she said and what she was doing. We've had some fun exchanges back and forth. It was all good.
Yeah.
I arrived wearing sunglasses. About an hour and a half into the session, I thought, my sunglasses aren't where I'd expect them to be.
They weren't these sunglasses.
They weren't these sunglasses. Okay. No, I don't actually always wear these. I'm often without sunglasses. Yeah. So I must have left them at the front desk upon arrival. The lady's walking down. I stop her. I say, "Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, madam. Were there a pair of sunglasses left on the desk? Because I think I've left mine on the desk." Yeah. She went, "Oh yeah, there were, but there were a pair of women's sunglasses."
You big queer.
You big bummer. And I went, well, how many people have left sunglasses on the front desk in the last, let's say, year? She didn't answer. Yeah. Because I think that would probably be one. Me.
Yeah.
I said, they're my sunglasses.
Were you doing this tone?
No, I wasn't doing this tone. I didn't say any of that.
Okay, good.
Obviously, I'm very polite. It's just not as funny to be polite.
It's true.
Well,
how many people... Yeah. Check that again, please, babe.
Please, would you mind just going to the back and just properly looking into it? No. And then she went, and I went, well, they're almost, the truth is, I went, well, they're almost definitely my sunglasses, aren't they? And she went, no, they're women's sunglasses. So then I went with her to get them. I was like, well, yeah, those are my sunglasses. It was quite a bold thing. They're really not. I guess they're quite androgynous in some ways, but they're not. It's a bold thing to assume they're women's sunglasses. And it's also, why die on that hill? I think it's the same as Matt Letizia. He's died on a hill that seems unnecessary. Why is this lady dying on a hill that those are female sunglasses when they could very well be male sunglasses? They're not like flowery.
It was a very strange thing that that's why I feel if you look at it deeper, it's probably a feeling of a push against the gentrification of metrosexuals like yourself.
Yeah.
Camping up.
Yeah. Oh God! And I'm really in there.
You know, you're in Upton Park. That's
I was wearing corduroy trousers and a tucked-in shirt.
Yeah, they don't want puss like you.
They don't want puss like me. Fuck, that's it. You're right. Yeah, you're right. That's absolutely it.
They don't want Nancy boys.
Nancy boys, like,
with their
we've got them, but
slightly unisexual sunglasses.
We've got them, but they're women's. Really? When I went to order a Guinness, she was like, "Sure, you don't want a cosmopolitan instead?"
She didn't say that.
No,
but she could have.
Why are you freaking out about what's real or not?
I'm just saying. She could have.
No, she didn't. That wasn't the point of it. But it was odd, and I guess that makes sense actually. I'm one by one. They're seeing pansies come in with their tucked-in shirts and their slightly androgynous sunglasses, and they're saying enough's enough.
Did she have a matron's dinner lady ass?
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You seem to know a lot about the Upton Park Snooker Club.
I do. Well, it's where my dad's family come from. They all, Have you ever seen the West Ham? You ever been to a West Ham game?
No.
Ugliest fan base in the world.
Really?
The worst looking guys. Great, very confident.
Yeah.
A lot of charisma. But yeah, honestly, it looks like they've all been rolled down a hill.
Because they
look like potatoes that have been rolled down a hill. Just all bished and boshed. And my dad's the same.
I'd argue they wouldn't actually be much.
Good. They're not. My dad's not a looker, and nor's my granddad. And they're just a long line of fucking, they're wonky people out there.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's you as well.
Yeah, I got a wonky face. You can see.
Yeah.
You can see that. This is not me being snobby. I would say this is my bloodline. We used to sell fish, and you can fucking tell. Big teeth, wonky nose. It's a full of character, but it's an ugly people.
No, I haven't been to a West Ham game.
No,
but
you should check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out. Real ugly clientele.
But then on the same night, actually, I then came back, and I was having a lady come over, and I was being nice. She was on a night out, and she was going to come back to mine, so I was like, "Stay at mine. I'll get you a kebab." On my route back, because I'm going to get a kebab anyway, and I'll pop it in the fridge when you come in. Heat that sucker up and munch away.
Yeah.
She's a pescatarian, right? So they didn't have any mackerel fucking kebabs, so I had to get a halloumi. I got myself a chicken. Mm-hmm. Came back, popped it on the table. I was even thought of the point that I think she wants chili sauce, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to get it without any sauce and get sauce on the sides. Right. Get back, put some music on. Pour myself a glass of whiskey, tuck into my kebab. Delicious. I was starving. It'd been a long time since I'd eaten. Honestly, got to the last bite.
Are you watching telly during this?
No, I was listening to music.
Okay, because you're normally quite strict on rules of.
I am, yes.
But this was.
I was like, I'm gonna sit back on my desk with a whiskey and a kebab.
Fine.
I got to the very last bite of the kebab and then just saw this massive piece of halloumi sticking out. What I'd done, everyone, was that I'd eaten the halloumi kebab in its entirety, bearing in mind that was a plain halloumi kebab with no fucking sauce.
I think this is what means that if you look, you have the potential to be a truly legendary broadcaster. Like, I'm talking Wogan.
You're talking Wogan, yeah.
Like, because your real skill set is that on these minor fuck ups, you just consistently, you can rely
on something dumb happening.
You just rely on, I wouldn't have eaten the halloumi, you know, and you've just got that, and you're like, because every weekend you're going to do something.
I'm going to do something that's going to be slightly off. Like, oh, whoops.
No, just, you know, the name of the game is fill dead air.
Yeah,
you know, if you've thought a chicken kebab was a chicken kebab and it ends up being a halloumi kebab, that's 10 minutes.
That's 10 minutes. And you're about to hear 10 minutes of it. So I'd eaten the entire halloumi kebab. And not until the last bite I realised I was munching into a plain halloumi kebab. So then I thought, oh, well, now I do fancy the chicken. So I had 2 full kebabs.
So she didn't want any sauce, or were you doing that preemptively?
No, I did. I thought... I was confident she wanted chili, but I wasn't completely confident for them to smother it over and she'd be like, I don't like chili. So I got a selection of sauces on the side. I also felt awkward about that. So I said to the kebab guys, I don't know what the missus is going to want, so I better get them all like that. Pretending I had this like abusive girlfriend at home. They loved it. They loved it, didn't they? Yeah, you'll be locked out if you get the wrong sauce. I was like, I know women. Yeah, just put it on the side of me, the doghouse if not. Kept going on this non-existent girlfriend I had for a while, just because they were loving it. They were like,
boss man.
Yeah. But so then I thought, well, I want the chicken. I then thought, I've eaten a plain halloumi kebab. I want the chicken, so I ate the chicken.
So you ate them both?
I ate them both.
And it was fine?
It was fine. No, it wasn't fine. The stomach was not great afterwards because I fell asleep at my desk.
See, you got a future in broadcasting.
She came in and I was
This is just a normal weekend. Look at every other episode. There's just something.
Because I find the joy in comedy in things.
No, because you eat 2 kebabs. No, because you eat 2 kebabs and collapse at your desk. That's absolutely absurd.
So she came in.
You ate 2 kebabs and then fell asleep at your desk.
That's not crazy, is it?
It's not crazy. It's just like consistently being able to cool on that sort of stuff. You're sat at your desk. You ate the wrong kebab. Then you ate the other kebab. You didn't feel great, and then you fell asleep. You weren't even that drunk, were you?
No, I wasn't that drunk. I had a buzz on. It'd been a day of drinking. I hadn't had much sleep the night before.
So she comes back, you got 2.
No, yeah. So I then had to order another halloumi kebab because the problem with vegetarians...
Was it the same place you ordered from?
No, because that wasn't on delivery.
Okay, so it's just another...
And I wasn't leaving the house again after that. I couldn't show my face.
You were fucking asleep on your desk.
So I ordered another one from a place, and then I then gobbled up the chicken. And I was like, right, you need to make sure you don't fall asleep for this fucking delivery.
Before you were about to pass out.
So I was literally there, just prying my eyes open, just waiting for the knock on the door. And then it came. And I had the best handoff ever. I went outside, handoff.
Okay, sorry.
My phone nearly got run over by a bus about an hour before. So my phone was out of action. And then
Wait, why was it out of action? Because it nearly got run over by...
Because the impact of the phone on the road broke the screen. It missed the bus by honestly about 2 inches, which meant that it's been recovered basically.
Okay. And how's it now?
I got it repaired.
Okay.
Astonishing service, yeah. I go in, literally they go, oh, my screen's fucked, and they go, oh, is that an iPhone 8? Yeah, it'll be half an hour.
Yeah, and it's slowly going to destroy the phone because it's not Apple, because they're cunts about it.
Yeah, I know. But upgrade soon. Not interesting. So, we...
No, I don't think everyone's...
No one gives a shit.
There's people passed out, like, completely bored.
After living 2 kebabs.
Like, what? No!
Tell me more! Which phone are you going to get? What month? So my phone was out of action, so I had to order the new kebab on the laptop.
Sure.
But then because I hadn't had my details and stuff saved on the laptop, I realised I hadn't put my fucking door number in. But you have to put your mobile number in, but I couldn't answer any calls. The frustrating thing about the phone was I could see a call coming, but I couldn't answer it. Yeah. So what I had to do was then message the guy, whatever. But then I came out when he was coming down Southern Grove just to make everything, a clear, nice, easy handoff. We did a handoff without the bastard even getting off the fucking bike.
Was the bike moving?
Yeah. He literally kind of went, oh, and I just grabbed it and he rode off and I went, that was really good. And then...
Did he stop the bike?
No. Because if you stop a bike... You fall off a bike and your feet go on the floor. Have you ridden a bike?
Stop a bike, you can put your foot down.
Yeah, but then you're not on the bike.
You're still on the bike.
Well, that's not an impressive handoff.
That's what I was checking. So, talk me through it more
He comes down Southern Grove.
Yeah.
I'm here in my pants, waving at him.
It's a dark and stormy
Don't get off the bike! He comes down the road. I'm out. I wave him, and he just.
It's a T junction.
We both,
He's coming down the bottom bit of the T,
and I just go out on the street, and I think we shared a moment where we looked into each other's eyes, and I think we can fucking do this. Let's fucking do this. You and me together at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night. He then does like a little circle. I just take the bag and we just wave at each other. It was great. And then I went in.
So he not. That's what I mean. It's like if he's coming down Southern Grove, it's not on the side passing it off. It's a swivel. And
it was a swivel and turn. And he didn't have one of those bags because we're so close to the kebab house, and it wasn't a Just Eat thing. It was I ordered directly from a kebab house, so we literally just had a bag like on his bike. So it was never going to happen again.
Incredible.
Maybe the first time that's happened.
Dang.
Who else has had a handoff with a delivery driver who doesn't even get out of his vehicle?
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But then I went back inside and then fell asleep on the desk with my desk reclined back, listening to the Kendrick album at full volume. And then she came in and I was just honestly passed out with my headphones still on, just
garlic sauce
everywhere. And I'd eaten the third kebab.
Did she like her kebab?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. Why don't you fucking
Actually, she didn't fucking heat it up. That annoyed me. I was like, do you know the effort I've gone to for this fucking kebab?
You could at least
heat it up.
Yeah.
I was just stick it in the microwave at least. Don't have to oven it. Don't have to preheat the oven. Sure. Fine.
Why is your voice so high?
I don't know. Heat the guy up. Anyway, that was that.
Andrew's planning to be the first Be Real influencer.
Heck yeah.
So Andrew, as we all know, struggles with social media.
Yeah. What do people post? Like,
yeah, Andrew is not one for. It doesn't come out naturally of how to express yourself online.
It just all feels self-aggrandizing to me, and that's what I struggle with.
Yeah, you do it in person. You'd rather do it. You'd rather self-aggrandize face to face.
Don't get me wrong.
It's face to face.
I'm not. Yeah, I have an ego.
3 people at a time. You know, I don't need.
But it's just always like, why? I get so annoyed with other people's posts.
Yeah.
But Be Real, I'm on board with because I've realised the potential is very high.
Yeah.
The potential is very high. Most of you would have, I guess, seen it.
Maybe I don't know. I think a lot of people won't know. Maybe you want to explain for the folks at home.
So my plan is, I got it downloaded last night. I was out with some friends and I decided, it struck me on the walk there for some reason. I was like, I'm going to get a Be Real. And then every post is my friends and housemates just bullying me. So the first one I did was Izzy shoving me down a toilet, giving me a swirly with her gleeful face, like laughing at it, which is great.
Second one, you didn't do that.
I didn't do that.
That ambition died.
That mission failed quickly.
That was similar to me and George Taylor singing Shakira.
Listen, it wasn't always going to be like that, but it's going to be peppered with various things because the bread and butter of it's going to be me doing embarrassing internet searches.
Yeah, it's going to have to be. It's going to be you at work.
It's me aggressively studying. It was me aggressively studying a Google search which says.
Have you explained to the folks at home what Be Real is?
Be Real is a new app that you post once a day. You post at a random point of the day, and you've got 2 minutes to post because
there's a notification that comes out and says,
it goes
post your Be Real.
It's time to be real, bitches.
Yeah.
And then you go and you post your stuff, and it's a front and back image that's taken simultaneously.
You can only see everyone else's once you post your own.
Exactly. And if you're late to it, it shows you how late you are. So if someone's doing it 2 hours later, they haven't been real.
They're not being real.
They're not being real.
Yeah, they're just picking the highlights.
Exactly, and they get banned off the app. So you do that, and you're meant to just show your life. It's Instagram, but for people with no lies. For paedophiles. There's an astonishing amount of child exploitation going on the app. As of yet, unclear how it's happening.
Instagram for paedophiles.
But that's my plan, to be the first, because there's so much good stuff you can do with it, I've realised. And the best thing about Be Real is the plan is the bullying and the same thing. It's about embarrassment. That's what it's about.
Humiliation.
It's like humiliation. It's like the Instagram, because that's what it's playing on. It's like Instagram is so polished. So my Be Real is going to be fake, non-polished stuff.
Yeah.
Like doing ridiculously embarrassing stuff. Like all my friends hate me. I've got a small penis that's really bent. That's the only two I've done.
I wonder if you could do cock pics.
I thought that today. No. Although the app in itself is very slow and kind of bad.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how good their like pornography filters are. But we can try it out. We can test it out.
Because you wouldn't know, because I don't know how people have tried. It's a very...
Well, if we're being real... If we're
you had
truly
the idea
real,
of doing every single Be Real was you on the toilet. Just every single one.
Every single one. Which is is funny in itself because even though like it'll be funny because of the pictures that are fundamentally they'll all be the same, but hopefully you'll find some different toilets. But what I think would be the funniest thing about it is for my consistent followers, they'll know that every time I get a notification I have to run upstairs to go and sit on the toilet. There's those, so like that'll be part of it. I'm gonna bring I'm not gonna go for one theme because it's not doable because you've got 2 minutes to do it.
Keep it exciting for yourself.
I've told Adam about it, and we're gonna need you as well because like it's gonna have to be one of you giving me a wedgie and the other one taking a picture and laughing at it.
Yeah.
So I can't. I need.
It's good. It's good to see you. You know, it's nice to see you. You know, coming up with these ideas.
Thanks so much. You patronising fucker. Jesus Christ. No, I could get on board with it. I like the time pressured nature. I like, what are you gonna do? Do something. It gets the creative juices flowing a bit.
No, I think so. I think being forced to not think of it. I've been doing Be Real for over a month now. Yeah, and it's.
You're not really creating content though.
I'm not creating content. I guess the main reason I assume they're going to have some sort of Spotify Wrapped style feature, which I'm looking forward to.
I think given the functionality of the app, don't get your hopes up. It is not a well constructed app. I think they've stumbled on a great idea, but they haven't got the coding. It feels
like a Soviet bureaucracy where people are getting handoffs. The ideals are set out with are not working. Yeah. A lot of career politicians not with the value of the people.
No, you're right.
And then on Monday,
finally to wrap up the week.
Monday we had a meeting, and we didn't get wine and dine like we thought we would.
We thought we were going to have cocktails and steak, and we got a cappuccino,
and I had a soda water. So then we got drunk afterwards, and then I tried to have a spontaneous Monday.
Horatio's one of the least spontaneous people I know.
Yeah.
That was such an admission of like, yeah, that's true.
Well,
are you taking umbrage with this?
It depends what you mean by spontaneous. I'm not definitely not the most, but I would say like, I don't need everything planned to a T. There's so many. You don't think plans through a lot of the time, and the amount of times you're complaining because I was on the train for like an hour and a half. Yeah, because you didn't think it through at all.
No, that's not true.
It is true.
When was I on the train for an hour and a half? That's when I got on the wrong train.
And I'm just saying.
The plan to get to Clapham wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Well, the plan, to be honest, it is always bad. To go fucking Clapham.
Yeah. Anyway, so do you want to say what happened?
We got wine and dine, but we didn't. And then one of our friends said we're going to a New Orleans jazz night in Chalk Farm. Come, it will be fun. So then I tried to convince Horatio to come, and he did.
Because I was told it was 20 quid, which was too much money.
Yeah.
But then I was like, that was my fuck it. I'll spend 20 quid on that.
20 quid. So me and Horatio gobbled up a bratwurst outside Liverpool, outside Shoreditch High Street.
Yeah.
Got on the tube, then we got there, and it was £30 on the door. And
20 quid was too much.
I heard her say it before you did, and I was paid first, and I just kind of looked at you and just tapped it. I was like, I'm in now. That's what you got to do sometimes. You just got to lock yourself in, say, I'm here now. There's no way I'm going to go home after this. Lock yourself in and do it.
Yeah.
Horatio didn't have the same opinion.
I did not have the same opinion. I thought, I'm just too. I couldn't explain it to my accountant.
You also handled your drink better than I've seen you for a while because we hadn't eaten and we were 4 pints deep of quite heavy beer.
Sure.
And you were actually conscious.
Yeah. So how was the actual night?
The night was like, it was a mass, so it wasn't like
the first time you went to the Roundhouse.
First time it was a crazy venue, yeah.
Yeah.
It was advertised as New Orleans jazz, but what it was jazz and rock for middle-aged people.
Did you make the joke, I miss old Orleans jazz?
Yes.
Good.
Many times. Maybe too many times. I was not a fan favourite there. It was honestly... It was
mostly... Because a new group of people.
It was new group... No.
Well, it was just like... I
know the people we went with.
Yeah, but they're not like a... It's not a regular...
I spent a week and a half in San Francisco with them.
Okay, fine.
So I do know them very well. But I was not a fan favourite with everyone else there because I honestly came in and so it was mostly...
What's the demos?
Demo is middle-aged women and middle-aged men without their spouses.
So it was
lads' night out, a 45-year-old lad's night out, or a 45-year-old mum's night out.
Oh, really?
Genuinely.
So it was like a petri dish for extramarital affairs.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And the jazz really worked with it as well. But it wasn't jazz or rock. It was jazz and rock for middle-aged people combined.
So it's quite an old person-y thing.
Yeah. And I walk in and everyone is tiny. I am the tallest person there by a country fucking mile. And it was one of those, because it was a middle-aged...
It's a big venue as well.
It's huge,
so it must have looked really...
I looked ginormous. So I went, and it was a really easy... Because it was a middle-aged event, it was really easy to, meander your way to fairly near the front. But I was honestly, I crouched for most of the time because I felt so awkward of how much taller I was than everyone and how many people I must be blocking. I then dropped a beer. And I got horrible, dirty looks from everyone. Who's this tall guy who can't hold on to his beers?
You spill a lot of things.
I do spill a lot of things. That's fine. I know I do.
It's about approach to life. It's carelessness.
But they were like, who's this young guy who's too tall for this event and who spills beers everywhere? Then the main guy was...
It'd be funny if it was like really short, small event, because it was like everyone got the memo that was for short people.
Short people, so everyone could see. They can only go out to a few events that's specifically for small people so they could see it. There was this...
How short? Like 5'4"? Well, you don't know measurements.
I don't know measurements.
BB's
it felt like everyone was a foot taller, smaller than me, which is
6 foot.
6 foot,
5'2",
which I don't think they were all 5'2".
Yeah,
but they were all.
So the men were small.
The best vision, the best eye line to a gig I've ever had in my life.
Did you drop your pint
because I was with a bunch of borrowers.
Did you drop your pint on a hen do or whatever, on like a ladies' night out?
Right, two women
on top of them because they're so small.
Yeah, I was.
And they washed.
They drowned. They drowned in my one pint of beer.
No wonder you're getting dirty looks. That was just, you killed 8 45-year-old women. The first night out in months, and then now.
So no, I had a very frosty reception, and the music was bad.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it was like gassed. There's a certain way. There's a certain way you can play a trombone.
Controversial, but I'll listen.
Controversial, but here we go. We all know what I mean.
Okay, I'll hear you out, but I'm not liking this. I don't like where this is going.
The lead singer, which I've never seen before, often you'll see a lead singer who plays guitar. You'll see the band. Yeah. They look like normal size, which begged a lot of questions. Yeah. So we've all seen, lead singer playing guitar, and then in jazz you quite see it. You see it a lot where they play the sax, maybe the trumpet. Never seen a trombone before. The problem with that was we got a lot of trombone solos. Now,
don't look at me like that.
Now,
don't look at
at a jazz event, at a jazz event, typically there are 2 solos that you least look forward to. One of them is trombone, the other one's a bass guitar. We don't need to hear those people solo, but honestly, whenever a bass player does a solo at a jazz gig, it feels like the band feel bad for them. And I'll go on there and give them a go.
Like a Make-A-Wish sort of thing.
Boom, 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 boom.
Does it feel like when a kid with leukemia dresses up as Iron Man and he comes on set?
He feels like the donkey of the group.
I don't think that works.
Well, like a
donkeys
charity.
are a vital part of...
No, he's been abused.
I guess so.
Yeah. It's a handout.
Yeah, I think the Make-A-Wish thing, you topped it with something that was not as good. But anyway.
It's just a callback, mate. Just a callback. No, so there was a lot of trombone solos and my man wasn't holding back on them. Like he was putting it in the air.
Yeah.
He was going down to the crowd. It was almost like he was asking the middle-aged women to lick the stem of the trombone.
We
Oh my God, we're too small. We've all got husbands back home, but you're really lovely though. So the music was bad. It was like, and there's nothing worse than there's nothing really worse than jazz rock.
It was only 30 quid though.
Oh, shut up. I had a great time. There's nothing worse than jazz rock. Yeah. Don't say AIDS.
No, I wasn't going to say.
You were going to say AIDS. There's nothing worse than jazz rock.
I wish I did actually. I genuinely, my brain was blank.
Your brain was blank. You got bean brain.
I got bean. I want to bring that into the name. You brought in Sundays for the girls. I want to bring in bean
brains. I think that shows our different personalities.
I've got bean brains.
I want to go out with him. He's got beans for brains.
He's a bean brain.
He's a bean brainer.
Because I say meathead a lot, or but I think he's got beans for brains is a good way of calling someone thick.
Yeah, no, I agree. Actually.
I like thick as pig shit as well. That's an old school.
Visceral.
Yeah, he's thick as pig shit.
Thick as pig shit. Because you really imagine how thick that is.
It's thick.
So there's nothing worse than like jazz rock or any other like genre of music that's combined with rock for middle-aged people.
Fedoras. What was the selection of fedoras? Was there selection of fedoras?
Couple. Definitely a couple, yeah.
In the audience band.
audience. So
no one on the band is
exclusively white crowd, exclusively black band.
Okay.
Oh, there were 2 drummers.
Do you think is there any gig where it's exclusively white band?
Jazz rock.
And no, exclusively white band.
Right, and
exclusively black audience.
No way in hell. No way in hell.
Apart from maybe a wedding. That's
like a wedding band, yeah.
But that doesn't count.
No, but still, they wouldn't
book
it.
No, they wouldn't book it, but someone must have.
That's, never in the history of music.
Yeah, maybe a 4th choice wedding band for an all-black wedding.
Because the good people didn't said no. Yeah, that was that's the demographic.
Playing Mr. Brightside to all these black people.
What are you... Jesus Christ.
Because I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? That's quite funny. I'd love to be like playing like the whitest songs in front of just a huge black wedding.
Yeah. Just the disappointment on their faces. No, never in the history of music has that been for good reason.
Yeah. It's an interesting question though. So yeah, this we'll put this out to the comments actually. Do you posit the theory of any band, white band?
Is there any white musical artist that has had an exclusively black pool? Because I just said there won't be.
No.
Because there's just well.
Ew, what was that? What's the pause?
Thinking just like white rappers.
Yeah, Macklemore. He's bringing in. I was
thinking more Eminem, Post Malone.
Macklemore singing about. Yeah, well, Post Malone.
Post Malone's definitely got.
He's going to have white. He's going to have white.
Eminem, I think, would be the only potential. Who might have back in the day.
Maybe back in the day if he played certain.
But still, it's impossible.
If he played certain.
No,
black,
he didn't. He definitely didn't.
It was 2 bigger rooms, probably.
Yeah. No.
And it's still like it's not really there's something about a band, that's more the point. A white artist he's probably going to have if he has any backing.
But to round up, the worst thing about that, and infuse anything with rock is going to be watered down anyway. But like jazz rock, oh my god, kill yourself. There was like covers as well. They were doing covers of songs. So I think they did some James Brown, but just made it fucking vapid and empty. But my word, were they having fun on stage with it, which is one of the most frustrating things when the band's up there playing terrible music and they think they're...
It's like watching improv.
He thinks he's James Brown. The guy, the lead singer thought he was James Brown, and the rest of them thought they were James Brown's band. But in reality, they were at the Roundhouse doing a terrible rock cover to James Brown
like
in front of a massive group of middle-aged white people.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a school play.
In the sense that they're having a good time and you're just happy, it's more...
Well, because
aesthetically not good.
No, the middle-aged white people were matching their energy.
Sure.
It was just me. I matched the energy as well, because when in Rome.
When in the Roundhouse.
When in the Roundhouse. Assimilate.
And then afterwards, did you go for drinks? Did you get pretty smashed?
A reasonable amount. It was all
right. Good. We'll be carrying on this episode and we'll be talking about Partygate, and I will probably touch on my weekend, which I don't want to talk about on the main app. On the Patreon, we've got loads of new patrons. It's growing. We're going to try and push the episodes longer soon. And live podcast.
Live podcast.
Be there.